So say you walk into a department store today, you might be overwhelmed with the 50 different options from which you can choose. So what I've aimed to do in this video is consolidate it down to 10. These are 10 fragrances that are still worth checking out if you happen to be in a department store. Even if you kind of ignore everything else, if you try these 10 fragrances, these are all worth sampling. I'm excited to share this list with you, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's video and I tell you all about these 10 fragrances that are currently worth checking out, the 10 that are worth your time at department stores, I do want to start things off by saying that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon so you could be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It would really mean a lot to me. I also want to take the moment to say that I have been working on something that's really special, very poignant and sentimental to me over the past year plus. You guys know my relationship with Navitus Parfum. I am the founding creative director, so I'm very proud to announce that I'm actually coming out with a brand new fragrance. I have been working on this over the past year and a half, it seems. Even when my other fragrances were released in September of 2021, Away, Imperial, and Emblaze, this is one of the DNAs that I was working around with. And so it's something that is a dedication to something in my life that is very special to me. And when the name is revealed, you'll see exactly how it coincides with not just the story and the inspiration behind the fragrance, but also the notes that are in the note breakdown and some of the really imaginative accords that are in there. And this is a fragrance that was made by two very special and incredibly talented perfumers who have made some of the best fragrances in the world. So if you would like to be part of that initial announcement and also hear about the best possible price that you can get it at when it drops, definitely subscribe to this channel and subscribe to the Navitus Parfum mailing list, because I'm going to be making another announcement very soon. It's going to be the first link down below. Definitely make sure you subscribe. So let's go ahead and jump into the list. And of course, the first designer fragrance that I want to talk about is none other than Dior Sauvage. So this is a fragrance that has received so much chatter over the past half decade and more, actually, and for good reason. I think it's a great fragrance. I personally love the eau de toilette. There's something very inviting, very fresh, and the bergamot, the ambroxan, it just gives off a very well-groomed, crisp, clean sort of a vibe. The black pepper, the Sichuan pepper. There's a reason why this one does so well and why the ladies love it and why it's incredibly popular. If you find yourself in a department store, try the eau de toilette before you try anything else. If you're a fan of the DNA and you want to experience some of the darker expressions, then be my guest and try the others, the eau de parfum and the parfum respectively. And then of course, try the elixir if you're interested in something on the spicier side of things. Although keep in mind, the elixir to some people does smell a bit grown up, for lack of a better phrase. But if that's your thing, check it out. I hope you love it. The next fragrance that I think really belongs in every gentleman's wardrobe is a bottle of Versace Pour Homme. This fragrance is brilliant. Versace Pour Homme is one of the best fragrances ever released, I believe composed by Alberto Morillas, if I'm not mistaken, a brilliant perfumer, and he's done so many wonderful fragrances from Acqua to the list goes on. And with Versace Pour Homme, you have this clean, drier sheet, citrus sort of a fragrance that I just think has mass appeal. There's a reason why it's still on the counters at department stores, and so I know you're going to see a lot of Mugler scents and John Varvatos and Diesel and so many different brands, and quite frankly, there's a lot of fragrances you can pretty much ignore. But Versace Pour Homme is definitely one that you should try. Don't ignore this one. And then when it comes to Dolce & Gabbana, of course, the light blue series is ever so popular, but in terms of how relevant it would be to include it in this list, it's been around for such a long time, unless we're talking about, you know, the many summer flankers that we expect year after year. But in terms of another flagship release from Dolce & Gabbana, you should definitely try K Eau de Parfum. If you're a fan of the smell of juniper berry, try the eau de toilette. But if you like something a bit spicier, a bit on the darker side of things, and especially as of the time that I'm publishing this video, it's autumn, right? So you want something that has slightly better performance, something that's going to be a bit darker and that caters more towards the colder months of the year. Try K Eau de Parfum. The spices, that sort of clean, gentlemanly quality that it possesses does really well, and I get a lot of positive attention wearing it as well. Now, speaking of classics, classics. We all know Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani. So here we have the brand new Eau de Parfum. This one contemporizes the formula and does so in a really wonderful way. This one is a nod to the original. It does smell like the original in many ways, but it also does things in its own way. So it possesses a certain level of uniqueness that can't be ignored. The Eau de Parfum for Acqua di Gio is really wonderful, especially if you like that whole clean vibe that the fragrance has going on for it, the clean white florals. Bleu de Chanel. This one has been on the shelves for many years, and there's a reason why it's still on the shelves. All I still smell in the air is Sauvage. But Bleu de Chanel is amazing. There's the Eau de Parfum version, there's the Parfum version. This is the Eau de Toilette that I have in front of me. I think I own all three of them because I try to buy everything that comes out. So no matter which one you try, you can't go wrong. The incense, the resins, the grapefruit, the woods, very classy, very gentlemanly. Let's talk about my scent of the day. This is actually Montblanc Legend, and I think this is the Eau de Parfum, not to be confused with Legend Intense or Legend Red and many of these other flankers. So Legend Eau de Parfum has this sort of gold perimeter on the cap here. This is a lavender-based fragrance, but the performance of this is a lot better than the Eau de Toilette. So don't waste your time with the Eau de Toilette. Still smells nice. Legend Spirit is also really nice too if you're looking for a brighter release. But there's something about the easygoing nature of the Eau de Parfum, the compliment factor, that contemporary, modern lavender note that's in here, phenomenally well done. Really good fragrance. And then of course we have Azzaro's The Most Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense. I love Wanted. Right? Wanted by Night is great. I think The Most Wanted is great. This is a flanker of The Most Wanted, which is the Eau de Parfum Intense. Just the spices that are in here, it does things in a very novel way, and it's spicy, but not like the way that Wanted by Night is spicy. I love Wanted by Night. I think it's a beautiful fragrance, but there's something about The Most Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense, with it being a newer release, not piggybacking off of any famous DNA or anything like that. Definitely try this next time you are in stores. And of course, Chrome, you know, is a popular fragrance from the brand, and there's many chrome flankers and stuff like that. Listen, that DNA is starting to get a little bit old in my opinion, but there's something about this particular line that tends to do really well, and they're constantly pumping out really high quality juice that is unique and that actually, you know, borrows little tidbits and little elements from popular fragrances, but still manages to do things in its own way. Of course, this is not going to be available at every department store out there. Might not be found at Macy's, but it might be found at a Neiman Marcus or something like that. Please try Dior Homme Intense by Christian Dior. Now, the Parfum version is very good too, but the Intense version with the iris and the vanilla and the ambrette seed is to die for. Beautiful for the colder weather. This is one of my favorites right around this time of the year, and it's actually one of my favorite fragrances, period. I have featured it in tons of lists, you know, ranging from seasonal lists like best fall and winter fragrances to my best current fragrances at the moment. Dior Homme Intense always finds a way to sneak its way into those lists. And then in the number 2 spot, we actually do have somewhat of a flanker by Versace. This is called Dylan Blue. Now, Dylan Blue was Versace's response to Dior Sauvage. Now, this has a bit more patchouli in it, so it's a bit darker, it's a bit earthier, but I think a lot of people view that as being a little bit more masculine, a little bit more classy. It doesn't have that bright metallic effervescent opening of Dior Sauvage, and that works in a lot of people's favor. I think it caters to their tastes, and Dylan Blue is a fragrance that you really can't go wrong with. I mean, if you're in a department store and you see these 9 fragrances, put them in front of you on the counter, try them, or try them one at a time until you boil it down to the one that you really like. And the one fragrance that I think is such a no-brainer, everybody should try this one, no matter what your age, no matter the season, no matter the occasion. It's budget friendly to a degree as well, and it is probably the biggest compliment getter on this entire list. Maybe it's tied with Dior Sauvage. Bleu de Chanel is up there in terms of compliments, and so is Acqua di Gio, the Eau de Toilette, and the Eau de Parfum. But this one is none other than Montblanc Explorer. You guys know what it is. It is the designer version of Creed's Aventus. Creed Aventus is my most complimented niche fragrance, period. And there are hundreds, if not thousands of people out there who say that Creed Aventus is their most complimented fragrance as well. Every time I wear it, somebody says I smell good. Somebody wants to know what I'm wearing. Montblanc Explorer is the designer version of that. Great longevity, great perfumers worked on the fragrance, super high versatility, any season, any occasion. And if you look online, you can find it for a really good price too. So the 10 fragrances that you should be checking out currently. If you happen to be in a department store, of course you can always sample these online. ScentSplit is a great place to get samples as well, and I'm sure they have some of these, if not most of these, but definitely try these if you haven't done so already. These 10 fragrances are all great in my opinion. And once again, I'm really excited to be sharing my new fragrance with you, and it's by Navitus Parfum, and the pre-order is going to become available this month, as a matter of fact, so much sooner than you think. And so I'm so excited to share it with you. It's been a long time in the making, and I poured a lot of my time and thought and energy and attention to it, and into it I should say. So I'm very happy to finally be sharing it with you all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, enable all notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.